What's up, team? Sean from Forrester Wave here. I'm not going to waste your time. As always, I'm going to jump right in. We got some sort of breaking, but really interesting news about Palantir. As you know, I don't always talk about Palantir. It is something in my portfolio, full transparency. And of course, always make your decisions based on your own research. But this is something I want to talk about, not related to the stock, but related to the company and how I interpret this, and actually for you to understand what this news means. So I'm Sean from Forrester Wave. I really appreciate you watching, and I'm not going to waste your time, so I'm going to jump right into the news. Excuse me, of course, as I'm losing my voice. So we just saw the most recent Forrester Wave hit, and this Forrester Wave was directly around AI and ML platforms, and they basically were saying for Q3 2022. Now, for those who don't know, the Forrester Wave is essentially a graphical representation of all of the players in a certain space. Now, there's a caveat, but I'll cover it in a second, okay? Some folks don't necessarily participate in the study, so they may not have the ability to rebuttal or offer different opinions of what they think about their own company or offerings. So keep that in mind here. And I'm not going to talk about anyone who's there. So the reason this is an important point for people who are invested in Palantir, those who are just fans of the company and what they're doing, this is an important moment for Palantir as a company, because in this most recent Forrester Wave, again, for AI and machine learning platforms, I want to say that again, this is very specific, okay? AI and machine learning, this is not analytics, this is not business intelligence, this is not data aggregation, this is not data. This is AI and ML platforms. The number one company on the entire Forrester Wave, I'm sure you guessed it, it's Palantir. The reason this is important is what the Forrester team is saying is three key things. And I'm going to tell you specifically why this matters, because this is the part you have to know to understand the value of this for people who work in the space that I work in. Number one, they look at two key categories. As far as the current offering, is it the strongest or the weakest in the market? And then from a market, excuse me, of course, I'm going to cough during it. From a strategy perspective, is it weak or strong? So as far as this wave goes, Palantir is not only the strongest current offering, they're also in the top perspective of the strongest strategy from a company as well. Now, I want to call out C3 AI and Data Robot are both considered leaders. C3 AI is probably in second, Data Robot probably in third. Behind them are all the common folks you'd expect. SAS, IBM, Tibco, AWS Services, Google, etc. And then other layers that go out from there, okay? Now, keep in mind, the breadth and completeness of offering is a big deal. Now, the reason I really want to call out the point here that stands out the most, and I'm going to be really honest here, I've been watching and following Palantir in their technology for a very long time, as probably many know. It isn't just that they have the strong current offering, which is great news. It isn't that they have the strong strategy. Again, great news. The part that blew my socks off, and I literally just got off my couch and said, I got to go in my office and make a video right now. They have one of the largest market presences across all of the competition in this space. I'm smiling for a reason, because I actually was totally surprised when I saw this. Not that I didn't think they're a good company with a great product. I've talked about this before, but this is a huge bit of news for those who follow the company. Forget about whether you invest in this or not. I'm sure you're watching this because you follow the stock, but this is more than that. This isn't about stock price. This isn't about market cap, or is it going to go up or go down or go 10% or whatever, okay? That stuff's important for investors, but we're talking about why this matters for the company. If you're a SVP of analytics and data, or a CTO or a CIO, when you're making your buying decisions for the company, oftentimes you'll look at things like the Forrester Wave report. Now, there's some others that are out there as well, Gartner, etc. But in this case, we're talking about Forrester. The reason this is important is this helps them decide when they need a solution, where to start looking. So this is particularly good because when sales reps and business development teams or marketing teams are trying to reach out and get in contact with the buyers, with the economic buyers in these companies, having your name at the top of a list like that is very powerful. They'll oftentimes share this report with prospects. They'll share this report in webinars. They'll share this report in their outbound emails. And essentially what it says is, you should take a phone call and talk to me about what I'm selling, because even Forrester thinks we are the best in the business at what we do in and around AI and machine learning. Complete, strategic, and heavy market presence. What that tells a senior executive, an SVP, an EVP, etc., is you're buying a known, you're buying a trusted, well-known brand with lots of customers that has a strong strategic presence in this space. Now, here's what you don't know, okay? As someone who has owned businesses and has had, senior roles in tech companies, I'm telling you that this has way more weight than just some shareable on Twitter, okay? This is how business gets done. When I am evaluating something, like an AI platform, I want to make sure that I'm buying something that other people have used. The bugs have been worked out of it. They have a long-term strategic goal or vision that they're going to continue to grow and innovate. Because I want to be clear here, when people buy solutions like this, it's not for a month, it's not for 6 months. Oftentimes it's for what we call multi-year deals. And this is why we look at things not always from ACV or annual contract value, but we look at things from what's called TCV, total contract value. So we typically will see terms like 3 to 5 years. It's very common in the industry, 3 to 5 years, especially for AI and machine learning, because when you invest in AI and machine learning, it is really about building a platform with data that becomes more intelligent and more statistically relevant over time. So when I saw this report come out, the investor in me was like, wow, this is huge. The AI, machine learning, deep learning expert in me was like, wow, I'm really surprised, beating the pants off Google, AWS, smoking IBM. I'm actually excited. I love and live in this space. So it's exciting to see new things like this hit. And even seeing C3 up there, a totally different approach to solving the same problems, was really interesting as well, to see that the new guard of AI machine learning platforms is there. But I want to espouse a little bit more on this. One of the biggest challenges for a company to get to the next level is to get that level of recognition. And I'm not saying this could ever happen. I just want to put it out there into the universe, or maybe the metaverse, right? What I want to call out is acquisition targets are usually those best in the business companies. I'm not saying that's going to happen, just to be clear here, but that next row, think about who's in that next row. AWS, Microsoft, IBM, right? Major big players, Google's in there. Maybe they want to start thinking about how do they integrate more? How do they work with them more? How do they make it easier to leverage that technology on their platforms? And they already are, frankly, but just keep in mind, now we start to see organic growth. Now it becomes, well, wait a minute, who's this company on the Forrester report when I'm looking at it as an executive in a company that's going to make a buying decision? And the beauty of this as well, and this is the part that no one's going to think about, but I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. Forget about the Fortune 500 for a second. Let's think about all those other companies in the mid-market, in the commercial space. They want the best. So this means that now they're going to go out and see, well, shoot, if I want the best to be able to compete with the best, this is what the best looks like. So if nothing else, the goal should be for that team to use this as a way to generate more interest, get more leads, get more meetings, get more opportunities, convert those opportunities to sales, and get those sales to convert for long-term contracts. Now, I'm not going to go any more than this. I'm going to end it right here. And I just want to say, it's exciting to understand what this means, but it's even more exciting to understand the significance of this report and what it's really telling senior executives. So I say it all the time. I would love if you shared your thoughts in the comments about this. If you have any specific questions, I am completely serious and transparent. Please ask, I'll answer them. I love nothing more than talking about this stuff. So that's it. I'm going to keep it short. I always appreciate you watching. Thanks for checking it out. And good luck out there. Make sure you're doing the right things and taking care of your money. Always hedge. Thanks, everybody. See ya.